Okay, this is day 43, which is actually day 2, I believe. I may get confused on this, but day 2 of editing. I certainly know where we should be. And today we're going to be editing the first 10 pages of your novel. And if we remember our story structure, this section is 10% of your total book. And if your total book is approximately 200 pages, it's about 20 pages for the old life. And we're going to be looking at the first half of the old life. Now you're going to do exactly the same thing that you did with page 1 through page 10 is look and see, are there big blocky paragraphs? Is there a bunch of runs of dialogue, meaning more than 3 to 4 in a row without any significant emotional or physical movement? Is there genre on there? And where's the passivity? Now sometimes I know when I first started, I could not do multiple things at once. I would have to go and look at just passive voice, just plot, just dialogue. So if you find yourself getting too confused at doing too many things on a page, then just say, you know what, I'm going to go through this and I'm just going to do passive voice and figure that out and do that only, and I'll come back and look at dialogue. That's okay. However long it takes you to edit this book is fine. This is a learning experience. This is writing college right here, learning. Now, I don't think you should take a half a year to do this, but if you have to take several washes, several looks at it for different things, that is totally fine. I'm just telling you all the things that you would want to do, and then you decide how best to put that information to use. Always, I want this to work for you. Hopefully, I give you options and I give you a structure, but then you decide how that best fits in your process. So today is the first 10 pages. So we are looking at the old life. And I would recommend that you go and listen to the days of the writing schedule. I told you what you probably should want to do. And you may want to go back and listen to those days and just see if you did them, right? You knew what you might want to do, but did you actually do it? And of course, I go into depth there. So I don't want to go into too much depth about the old life, just to say it better be interesting. That's what we're really reading these pages for is this interesting? We're reading them in a block. We're reading the first 10 pages in a block. Does it make sense? Is it interesting? Is there verve? Is there building of tension and conflict? Because that's what we should be doing. And is the hero wounded enough? Because many of you start out with a pretty perfect hero and you're seeing that in these pages, and that may be a little ouchie, knowing where you need to go. He isn't even perfect at the end of this book. He's the hero of Laura, but he's not perfect. So you're really looking with an eye to, did you do a good enough job of having your hero be wounded so that he has somewhere to grow? If not, then rewrite him. Do you have a magician? Do you have psychics? You may not in the old life, and that's okay. Go back and listen to the old life modules so you kind of know what's happening. But really, we're looking to an eye, is this interesting? Did this work? Is it engaging to another human being? Because right now, hopefully you have enough time between when you wrote it and you're reading it that it may have been interesting to you. It may have fulfilled you, but maybe not a reader, and that's okay. We're looking for what works and doesn't work. Again, if you are feeling shameful, if you're having any negative physical reaction to any of this, if you're looking at it, you're feeling bad about yourself and you're using negative terms to describe you or your writing, stop and go and listen to fear and the internal critic. Okay, this does not have to be painful. This should be joyous. I love the editing process because I get to go back and fix things. And that's exactly what you're doing. We're seeing what you were shooting for, what you did, and how can you fix it. And maybe you can't fix it this time, but wow, you're learning so much for your next book. Because I'm really looking for your career. I'm not looking for, is this book going to break the best-selling lists and break records? I'm looking at it as a learning experience. Where are you? Are you super passive? Do you have tension and conflict on the page? Is your hero wounded enough? Are we moving the plot forward enough? Are we going deep enough? Or maybe pulling back a little bit from having too much old life? Because this is a really, really common place where beginning writers like to overwrite. So if you look at these 10 pages and it doesn't feel like you're halfway through to the old life, then we're probably going to edit that. We're probably going to read through till tomorrow and find out how far over you went. But most people overwrite when they first begin because they think they need to explain things. We don't. We just need to know how the hero feels about his old life and see that the old life is something that sucks and that we must get out of. So that is today's Now, I just told you, woohoo, go do that. It may take you a few days to go do that, especially all the passive voice if you're writing passively. And if you have a bunch of big blocky paragraphs, it may take a few days. So you do what you need to do, but don't take more than a week on any one of these modules. And you're taking too long. You're probably rewriting from scratch, and we don't want that either. We want editing. And then if it's just, wow, this book is not readable by someone else, then we're just going to write another one. Don't worry about it. Fantastic. I will see you tomorrow.